Welcome back to the Everyone JK Auto Review. Today we're doing a complete review of the legendary Boeing B-17 Flying Fortress, with a special focus on its operations from Suffolk's wartime airfields. Whether you're an aviation enthusiast, a history buff, or just curious about World War II aircraft, this one's for you. Let's get into the story of iron, courage, and long-range daylight bombing. Background and role. The B-17 Flying Fortress was developed in the 1930s as a four-engine heavy bomber. It became synonymous with the U.S. 8th Air Force's daylight strategic bombing campaign over Nazi-occupied Europe. Suffolk, with airfields such as Tuddenham, Nuthampstead, and Bury St. Edmunds, hosted many B-17 groups and became a key frontline region in the air war. From these East Anglian bases, crews launched long, dangerous missions deep into Germany, targeting industrial centers, rail hubs, and oil refineries. The nickname, Flying Fortress, came from the B-17's dense defensive armament and rugged construction. It was designed to survive heavy damage and still bring crews home, a reputation earned repeatedly over Europe's skies. Design and technical specs. Let's break down the machine. The typical B-17G, the most numerous wartime variant, featured 4 Wright R1820 Cyclone radial engines, roughly 1,200 horsepower each. A wingspan of about 103 feet and length around 74 feet. Maximum speed near 287 miles per hour, cruise speed around 150 to 170 mph, and a service ceiling of roughly 35,000 feet. Normal bomb load in combat ranged from 4,000 to 8,000 pounds depending on mission distance. In short-range configurations it could carry more. Defensive armament evolved across variants. The G model standardized multiple .50 caliber machine guns in nose, dorsal, waist, tail, and chin turrets. The B-17 structure combined a durable airframe and redundant systems, armor plating in key areas, self-sealing fuel tanks later in the war, and a rugged landing gear that helped many damaged aircraft return to base. Life at Suffolk bases. Suffolk's airfields were more than runways. They were small towns where bomber crews trained, bonded, and prepared for missions. Daily life balanced maintenance work, navigation briefings, and the constant tension of impending sorties. Intelligence and meteorology were critical in Suffolk. A bad forecast could doom a daylight raid or scatter formations. Suffolk units flew both strategic missions deep into Europe and tactical operations closer to the front. Many surviving photographs show B-17s lined up on those damp Suffolk mornings, engines coughing to life as the crews climbed aboard for another long flight over hostile terrain. Combat performance and anecdotes. The B-17's credibility came from stories of survival. Aircraft returning with massive flak damage, engines lost but still limping home under skilled piloting. Crews faced enemy fighters, intense anti-aircraft fire, and freezing conditions at altitude. The combination of tight formation flying, heavy armament, and disciplined gunnery helped reduce losses, though casualty rates were still high during the most intense periods of the bombing campaign. A few notable themes. The introduction of long-range escort fighters like the P-51 Mustang drastically reduced bomber losses, and technological advances in oxygen systems, radar, and bomb sights like the Norden improved mission effectiveness. Variants and modifications. The B-17 evolved through B-17B, C, D models up to the famous B-17F and B-17G. Each variant improved engines, armament, and crew protection. The G model added the chin turret to better defend against head-on attacks and standardized several field improvements. Post-war, many B-17s were repurposed for search and rescue, mapping, or even converted into drones for nuclear tests, a varied afterlife for a famous airframe. Restoration and preservation. Today, a handful of B-17s still fly and several are preserved in museums. In Suffolk and throughout the UK, air shows and museums honor these machines and the crews who flew them. Restorations are painstaking. Sourcing original parts, rebuilding radios and bomb bay mechanisms, and returning interiors to wartime configurations. If your video includes footage of a preserved B-17 or local memorials in Suffolk, that personalizes the story and connects history to place. Why the B-17 matters. The B-17 is more than steel and rivets. It's a symbol of industrial production, strategic doctrine, and human resilience. From the perspective of Suffolk airfields, it's also a local heritage, a reminder of lives lived under wartime pressure and the global impact of a small English county. Closing. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the B-17 and its Suffolk connection, like, share, and subscribe for more aviation history. Drop a comment. Which B-17 story surprised you most? See you next time.